You got a bunch of white teams going on also.
Please stand for a moment, silence, salute the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Notice of this meeting was provided to the Branford Chronicle, advertised on January 16, 2015. Notification was sent to the Star Ledger and promptly posted on the municipal bulletin board and filed in the office of the municipal clerk, informing the public of the time and place according to provisions to the Open Public Meeting Law, Chapter 231, PL 1975. Everyone please silence their cell phones or any electronic device. Roll call, please, Ms. Ariema.
Mayor LaBarge.
Here.
Councilman Martin.
Here.
Councilman Matthews.
Here.
Councilman Petroselli.
Here.
Councilwoman Tarantino.
Here.
Councilman Tedisco.
Here.
And Council President Mercer.
Here. Minutes, please, Ms. Ariema.
Regular meeting of the mayor and council held on May 12, 2015. Workshop session of the mayor and council held on May 12, 2015.
Are there any corrections or changes? Hearing none, may I have a motion to accept the minutes as presented?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as presented, Mayor.
May I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Ms. Ariema, communications, please.
New Jersey State League of Municipalities Mayor's Advisories.
Receive and file.
Union County Board of Chosen Freeholders, resolutions.
Receive and file.
Township of Cranford, resolutions.
Receive and file.
Township of Springfield, resolutions.
Receive and file.
Garwood Public Library Board of Trustees minutes.
Receive and file.
Garwood Celebrations minutes.
Receive and file.
And Roy Valley Sewer Authority minutes.
Receive and file. Ms. Ariema, please read bond ordinance 15-11 by title only.
Yes, Mayor. Bond ordinance to authorize the acquisition of new 911 police communications and dispatching equipment in by and for the borough of Garwood in the county of Union, state of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $59,000 to pay the cost thereof, to make a down payment, to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bond.
Do I have a motion to introduce ordinance 15-11?
I'll make a motion to introduce ordinance 15-11.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Any questions? Roll call, Ms. Ariema.
Councilman Martin.
Aye.
Councilman Matthews.
Aye.
Councilman Petroselli. Councilman Tarantino.
Aye.
Councilman Tedisco.
Aye.
And Council
Yes.
President Mercer.
Yes.
Thank you. Moving on, council standing committee reports and other reports. Police, Councilwoman Tarantino.
Thank you, Mayor. I have a few things. Officer Zuena is on schedule and coming to the end of his training with his field training officer. He has performed well and met all his target goals. If all goes well, as anticipated, he should be released from his coach program within the next few weeks. Lincoln School students took part in their annual field day program at the Garwood Sports and Rec Complex. Officers were present throughout the day, including the bicycle patrol. It appears to have been a big success. The traffic division, along with the bike patrol, will be conducting a bicycle rodeo for those children attending the summer recreation program and also for members of the Boy Scouts. The rodeo consists of training in the laws applicable to cycling, safety tips, and honing one's bicycle skills. These programs will take place in June and July. You should probably attend that. Chief Underhill has put together and submitted an end-of-year report, which is the one we've already discussed, for 2014. This report will be updated yearly and submitted to council. The report is intended to provide historical and general insight into the functions of the police department and its personnel. This report consists of compiling statistics from the past year and listing them alongside those prior years. Data can be compared and used as a tool in determining goals and policies for the department. The end-of-year departmental report is one recommended aspect of the CALDA recognition program and the New Jersey Law Enforcement Accreditation Program process, and would be available should the department choose to pursue certification in these programs. This report was included in your council mail and is an interesting and informative read. That is all for my report, Mayor.
Thank you. Any comments? Hearing none. Public Health, Council President Hearsay.
Thank you, Mayor. The board met last Wednesday night and had its first reading of the ordinance to commence charging fees for plan reviews of commercial establishments that must submit such plans prior to obtaining their health certificate. The second reading and adoption is scheduled for Wednesday, June 17th. And that's it for my report, Mayor.
Thank you. Any comments?
How much are they gonna be charging for that?
I do have the exact amounts. Give me a minute.
I feel like you don't have the exact one.
You know what, give me a minute and I'll read them when we go through somebody else's report.
Okay. Hearing no comments other than Councilman Matthew. Streets and Roads, Councilwoman Tedesco.
No report tonight, Mayor.
I'll write that down.
The record?
It's on the record.
Fire, Council President Yearstead.
That's okay. Last Wednesday, May 20th, the Garwood Fire Division held its memorial for deceased firefighters and members of the Ladies Auxiliary. As always, the tolling of the fireman's bell was a moving experience, and I thank everyone who honored our firefighters by their attendance. Also, Mr. Mayor, I do have the fire activities report for April. There were total man hours of 196 hours, and there were 19 incidents plus, or including 10 requests for mutual aid. And also just like to advise everyone that right now the fire division and these representatives are down in Linden at a live burn, as they call it, for additional training. And I always mention what the firemen do because they put in a lot of volunteer hours, and this just adds to it. And that's it for my report.
Thank you. Any comments? Hearing none. Finance, Councilman Petroselli.
No report, Mayor.
Thank you. Buildings and Grounds, Councilman Matthew.
No report, Mayor.
Thank you. Laws and License, Councilman Martin.
No report.
Thank you. Recreation, Councilwoman Tedesco.
Thank you, Mayor. The Recreation Commission last met on May 20th. The commission was very pleased with the number of children that signed up for the pre-K and kindergarten instructional soccer program, which took place on Fridays. In total, there were 31 children signed up. They will close out the program with a pizza and trophy party on June 12th. Also, the commission is looking forward to summer recreation this year. Sign-up night is set for Tuesday, June 9th at 7 p.m. at the Lincoln School cafeteria. This year, there will be an 8th grade project graduation held on graduation night from 9 to 11 p.m. at the Recreation Complex. Lastly, the commission is about to finalize a day for the annual Senior Citizen Dinner. Right now, it looks like it may be August 15th or 16th, so the usual mid-August that they have that dinner. And that was all for my written report. I do want to add that a resident brought a very nice suggestion to myself as recreation liaison about reaching out to the school, Dr. Quigley, and see if she could have the gym teachers discuss the new complex with the children, especially in preparation for field day that Councilman Tarantino just mentioned. And so I believe that that took place. Dr. Quigley liked the suggestion, and I trust that she followed through on that. So that's it.
Thank you. Any comments? Now we'll continue on. Committee on Aging, Councilwoman Tarantino.
Thank you, Mayor. At the last meeting, I reported that I had applied to the county for a tent for the seniors' annual summer picnic. And I'm happy to report that the county did come through for us, and we will be getting two 20 by 20 tents to provide shade for the seniors at their picnic in June at the Garwood Sports and Rec Complex. So we are getting something for our county dollars there. That is all for my report.
Thank you. Any comments? Hearing none.
2 tents.
Library's Mayor Representative, Councilman Petroselli.
Thank you, Mayor. On Thursday, June 4th, horticulturist Brian Lowe will present a program at the library at 7 p.m. discussing deer-resistant plants. As with his other lectures on gardening, he will present a slideshow along with his advice and descriptions. Registration is required for the event. Toddler story time will continue through Wednesday, June 10th, and then break for summer, returning on Wednesday, September 16th. Friday morning movies will continue through Friday, June 19th, and then we'll break for summer, returning on Friday, September 11th. Monday afternoon book club will meet on Monday, June 15th at 1 p.m. and then resume on Monday, September 21st. The Thursday evening book club will meet on the first Monday of each month throughout the summer. The Garwood Library will have a tent at Garwood Rocks event on Sunday, June 7th. We hope that residents and visitors alike will stop in by our booth and find out more about what's happening at the library. Summer Reading Club sign-up starts Wednesday, June 17th, and logins will begin on Monday, June 22nd. That's all from our report.
Thank you. Any comments? Continue on to School Board Liaison, Councilman Matthews.
Thank you, Mayor. On Tuesday, May 19th, the Board of Ed met and 2 matters of note were discussed. First, the board agreed to extend their shared services agreement for a business administrator with Mountainside from July 1, 2015 through June 30 of 2018. Second, the board applied to the Department of Education for funds for a new handicap bathroom at Lincoln School. That's all from my report.
Thank you. Any comments? Continue on. Celebration of public events and holidays, Council President Neerstead.
Thank you, Mayor. The Celebrations Committee met last Wednesday, May 20th. The Celebrations Committee held its annual Memorial Day remembrance yesterday at the Knights of Columbus with over 100 people in attendance. We wish to thank the Knights of Columbus for donating the room, soda, and water, and also doing the cooking and cleanup. Even though the guest speaker, Colonel Teresa Wolfgang, had car trouble and could not be there in person, she called in and gave a heartwarming speech on women in the military through Mr. Nieves' phone. Technology at its finest, but certainly technology. 2 brownies and 1 Girl Scout spoke on what Memorial Day meant to them. The presentation of colors was done by both boys and Girl Scouts, and taps was played by 8th grader Justina Augustine. Mayor Lombardo gave his message on the meaning of the poppy. Major Paul Nieves, a resident of 4th Avenue, made a special presentation of Fallen Soldier Table. The Celebrations Committee wishes to remind everyone, especially on council, to send in their favorite recipe as soon as you can for the Celebrations Committee recipe book. The recipe form is online at garwood.org. You need to drop it off at Borough Hall or send it via email to garwoodcelebrations@garwood.org. And that's it from our report. Mayor, although we had one thing, while it's technically not a Celebrations Committee report, I do wish to report the Mayor and Council did walk in yesterday's Cranford Memorial Day Parade, followed by representatives of Guard First Aid Squad, Fire, and Police Divisions. I thank everyone who came out and greeted us, and I hope that everyone had a memorable day of their own. That's it from my report, Mayor.
Thank you. Any other comments?
I will say it is very nice walking in that parade. When we're going down the Cranford, people see there and they yell, "Hey, Garwood, hey, neighbor." It's nice to be received. You know,
Yes, it did.
welcome.
And they also recognize Councilman Neerstead also.
I will say it was the Bill Neerstead parade
It was
yesterday.
overwhelming.
I can only imagine if the parade was in Plainfield.
Wow.
No, they don't want to.
I wouldn't want to be standing next to me, that might get things started.
Okay, we'll just continue on now. Union County Air Traffic Noise Advisory Board of Representatives, Councilman Matthews.
No report, Mayor.
Thank you. The Parking Committee, Councilwoman Tarantino.
Thank you, Mayor. The parking committee did meet again, and we continue to get feedback on the proposed ordinance. We're getting a lot of positive feedback. It wasn't, just the people that had come to the meeting to speak that night. We're getting a lot of letters and emails, and most of the concerns are about the visitors' passes. So the parking committee discussed it, and we will most likely probably be doing the 2 laminated passes per household. Let's see, of course, we will keep records as to who has what passes. We'll number them, so it's not just a free-for-all on parking passes. But we will be doing some kind of organized visitor passes. And we are getting a lot of positive responses. People want to know you know, when is this ordinance starting, when can they pick up their permits, and they're eager to have this ordinance passed. But we still have a lot of, I don't want to say a lot, we have a few issues, details to work out before we can bring the ordinance to introduction.
Very good. Thank you for your efforts in your committee also. Any comment?
I do have one on the parking committee. I know we talked about this last time too, but in terms of process of going from the parking committee to laws and license, and I know I sit on laws and license, but one suggestion. I know that for how it's currently being done, residents get a sticker that they put on their car that is registered to their house. And then the 2 visitor passes that are laminated, that's great. I'm wondering, and I get this, I'm making this suggestion because I've heard it from a few residents that are not looking forward to the prospect of putting stickers on their cars. Would it be possible to give them the option of a laminated card that it's of course up to them, then to put it on their, say, dashboard every day that they park on the street, but that way they don't have to go with the sticker.
We discussed that, but because those things all have to be numbered and you have to buy them in bulk, it's expensive to do that. So
Expensive to have,
purchase them?
to have the laminated cards.
to purchase those cards, because it
Okay.
has to say the Borough of Garwood, they have to be numbered, and you have to buy them in bulk. So we discussed that. I mean, people have in the past, because this isn't the first time that we've done something
Right.
that you have to put in the window. If they don't want to actually stick the sticker in the window, they could tape it into the window. They don't have to actually peel the sticker off and slap it on.
But personally, I think taping's similar.
It's a very
But-
small sticker, but you must know that we already have supplied these stickers, because we have this program already.
Right. Well, that's
So
good to
when
know.
you implemented this, we ordered more stickers. They're very expensive. They come like $500 or more.
And also too, that could be consistent, so everybody has the same thing, so if there's no confusion. Is it in, is it out?
I hear that, but at the same point, if they put a temporary pass for a visitor, I feel it's similar if they were to do the same for
Well,
their,
what
from
if those
their,
people just take that sticker that they're gonna get and just put it on a piece of plastic laminate themselves?
The
I'm
ordinance-
okay with that.
The ordinance specifically says it has to be put in a specific spot, so when the patrolman goes by, it's easy for him to use.
Right, because they're gonna be
You have to
driving
change
down the
the
street,
ordinance.
they have to put it in the window that's on the street side. You know, you can't make it be work for the police officer to now be looking to see where the sticker is.
well, there would be work to check for laminated passes that are on the dashboard.
But those
It
aren't,
just,
that's not gonna be a lot, that's few and far between.
and I think it would be few and far between that. I don't see a lot of residents looking for that. Just a suggestion, we'll see what comes of it, but I felt like I should bring it to council.
Anything else?
That's it.
Okay, we'll continue on. Police Negotiation Committee, Councilwoman Tarantino.
No report, Mayor.
Thank you. Administrative Review Committee, Councilwoman Tarantino.
Thank you, Mayor. The committee did meet this week, or last week, I lost track of time, and we did discuss an issue that we will be needing to go into executive session at the end of this meeting to discuss the outcome of that meeting.
Thank you. Historical Committee, Councilwoman Tedesco.
Thank you, Mayor. The historical committee did meet, but I'll give a more thorough report next time. The donations have been coming in for sponsorships, whatever you rather call them, for the frames over at the complex, so that's positive for the historical committee, and they're continuing to work on those efforts.
Very good. Ms. Ariema, please read officers' reports.
Chief of Police Bruce Underhill, end of year report 2014. Chief of Police Bruce Underhill, monthly report for April 2015. Municipal Court Administrator Marshall Marino, monthly report for April 2015.
I have a motion to accept the officers' report as presented.
So,
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, move on now. Public comments. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to address the mayor and council? Please step to the microphone, sign in, and state your full name and address. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes, please.
All right, Joe Sarm, 658 Willow Avenue. I just want to make a suggestion. I mean, I lived in Lyndhurst for a couple of years, and I lived right by one of the NJ transit stations. live there, why? I could walk right to it. And I have my car as well. And what they had was pass and visitor's pass. Maybe as a suggestion, as you guys go through the process, if you guys want to take a look or anything like that, feel free. I don't live there anymore, so I'll give my old address, not a big deal. But I mean, I think it's just something that other towns have already done it, and maybe we can learn something from them. That's all.
Mr. Joe, is that pass, is that hung on the rearview mirror?
Yeah, right here.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
I don't know, are you allowed to drive with those on your mirror?
No.
Do you have to take that on and off every time
Even
you?
your handicap, you're not allowed to drive.
Right, so,
I guess, personally, I like the suggestion. It's kind of ironic that a municipality would put out something that is then illegal from the,
I know, that's what I'm saying, you have to take that off and on every time you
Right.
park your car.
I
And
guess.
that's why the sticker is just, you don't have to worry
Right.
about it.
I don't like stickers on my car.
I'm-
That's just me.
I'm with you 100% if you couldn't
I got
tell.
the Jeeps, I mean, I always have the top down and stuff. I mean, maybe
Right.
windows are down or something like that, you know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about, so.
Yeah.
Something like this, I don't know if it was small enough or it can't be there at all, I don't know, but
I don't know if
exactly.
you're allowed. Captain, are you allowed to leave anything hanging from your rearview mirror
While you're parked, you can.
Yes.
while you're parked?
But while moving at the
Right.
construction field.
So people are gonna forget.
So then people forget to put it back on.
Maybe there's the law.
We won't tell anybody, don't worry.
That's all.
No.
Don't worry, we won't tell anybody. Okay. Because I thought it was a good idea.
No, and I did too initially, and then when I thought of that you have to put it back on every time you park the car and if they forget, no. Plus, we
Well,
already have.
I'm with you on the no
stickers,
sticker.
we
Yeah, I
already
think it's just
have-
better, I don't know,
Yeah.
it's just there for the, for the taking.
and Thank you.
That's a good idea.
Anyone else?
Good evening, I'll sign in. Good evening, Mayor Lombardo, ladies and gentlemen of the council, Bruce Patterson, 35 Willow Avenue. More borrowing, I see more borrowing. We just, what was it, 2 months ago, 3 months ago, we just rolled all our bands and short-term notes into like a bond and cleaned up our books, and now we're into doing it again. $59,000, I mean, it doesn't seem like a lot. I know we have a couple $100,000 in surplus. I mean, could it easily be taken out of surplus to cover it? Is that a proper procedure? Just so we don't like start rolling into borrowing again and again. Sooner or later, yes, I know we probably will have large expenditures, but 59 doesn't seem like a huge expenditure.
It's definitely a major need of the department.
It just kind of leaves it there.
Councilwoman?
If you want, I can speak to that a bit. I completely agree that that's how it looks on the surface. The process for purchasing, it wouldn't come out of the fund balance directly. It would actually have to come out of the capital account essentially for that, which has about 140,000, is that correct, Tina? Just ringing a bell? All right, I'm sorry, I'll get you the exact number. But that's where it would come from. It wouldn't just come from the fund balance itself. So, and I understand how we just did a bond sale, which we do every about 10, 12 years, and now here it is doing another bond ordinance, but we also have the road project bond ordinance this year too. So I completely agree with how it looks on the surface, but at the same point, if there are needs, and with interest rates low, that was the position of Finance Committee and CFO at the time, so, rather than deplete the cash on hand.
You haven't seen the letter yet, but I wrote a letter about the county budget hearing last Thursday at 6 o'clock at the Freeholders meeting room. There was a county budget hearing for the public. Sad part is, obviously people know I've been writing letters to the mayors and councils of the 21 towns. Nobody showed up. 3 residents did show up. It's very disappointing. I wrote another letter, you'll see it soon.
I read it
You
today.
saw it already. I mean, the line item increases are just amazing. I mean, I think I titled the letter like, the finance chair would be jealous, of what could be done. And I mean, increases of like 10%, 16%, 20%, 25% on line items. You know, I wrote it to the towns. There is a final budget vote on the resolution that will be put on the agenda. I think it's the 11th of June. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's what it is. I wrote a letter to the county, to the 21 towns, and hopefully somebody's going to show up there, but nobody showed up at the public hearing. And it's sad. I mean, we're talking about a government, to me, that's totally out of control, abusing taxpayer money. Obviously can get away with it. Can get away with it, which is sad. I mean, you know, I thought we had a working government for the people. This tens of millions of dollars is not going anywhere. It's like a slush fund just being buried into the budget. There's a couple of programs, not to belabor the point, but I mean, yes, they have a second rescue squad because a lot of the volunteer organizations in various towns are becoming defunct. Garwood is hanging on by a thread, and they have the 1.5 million, which you thank the freeholders for the grant. But outside of that, I mean, there is nothing really major coming of these tens of millions of dollars, but they buried all that money in. I guess just for your knowledge, I did write a letter also to the DLGS to look into, you know, this. I mean, it's all perfectly legal. I mean, you know, so election comes and they get voted back in, and obviously whatever they give the budget is fine and dandy. But, you know, to me as a taxpayer, it's wrong. And I think the mayor and councils of the 21 towns really should speak up about it. So, thank you.
Mr. Mayor? Question, Bruce, what was the bottom line? You know, I did read your letter and I saw what you had indicated, 14, plus or minus 14, you know, versus 5%.
Oh,
What
that
was
was
the bottom line in terms of, what is the percentage of increase from last year in the total budget?
The total budget, and this is because of the runoffs. See, that's just it.
I know.
We can always finagle things. So
19 million.
it's an $8 million increase.
And what's that percentage?
What is that percentage on 270 million? It comes like around 4% or something
All right,
like
because
that.
the county isn't actually required to be under the 2% cap in municipalities, or are they?
Yes, they actually
They
do
are?
have caps.
So are they above any of their caps?
No, the strange thing is obviously the county is taxing on existing, what's called equalized values, where we are on assessed values, but they're on equalized values. And so the pluses and minuses that each town has can be over and above the 2%, can be a negative percent. One town could have a negative percent, another town could have a 4%.
So then are you saying the bottom line is that the county really doesn't have a cap?
No, it does have a cap.
Yeah, but how does that, the reason I'm asking, I won't belabor the point tonight, but as I mentioned to you before, you know, I have my own views on the county, and I don't mind, and I don't speak for this council, but once again, if you would like to sit down and put together some type of resolution indicating displeasure with the budget in terms of its percentage of increase, I'd be more than happy to sit with you and do that.
I do appreciate that. Passing resolutions,
But that's what this mayor council can do.
I think you could do more. I made a suggestion when you kind of looked at Renata that time and said, no, you can't do that. But I think.
Which suggestion was
It's almost
that?
like, I'm not gonna bring it up, or maybe I will, just hold back the county tax. But I mean, it's getting to the point of pitchforks and torches. It really is. I mean, it's sad. This is all perfectly legal. Whatever they're doing down there is perfectly legal. They're within the cap. Bibi Taylor, who's the finance director, I guess you know her because she was from Plainfield. I mean, you know, she gets up there and talks about the 1977 cap and the 2010 cap and the cap bank that I bring up every once in a while. And everything sounds logical and legal. And that's the sad part. You start digging in, you know, and like they sold the runnels and all that extra money just disappears where it really should be going back to the taxpayers. And they do, and the times I did ask them, you know, they said, oh, we're gonna trickle out the money to the taxpayers over the years. Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, they'll also be spending it at the same time, so suddenly the trickle will just turn into a zero stream. But anyway, thank you very much for listening. I hope you do take it under consideration and do something. Thank you.
And just one question, are we still sending people down to the freeholders meeting?
Yes.
Is anybody there for the budget meeting? Anybody get a take on that?
gonna make that one. It was the same night as the curriculum fair in town, so. Hopefully we keep it going.
Okay, at this point we'll continue on. Are there any resolutions anyone wants deleted from the consent agenda? Hearing none, may I have a motion to adopt the consent agenda as presented?
So moved.
Second?
Roll call, please, Ms. Ariano.
Councilman Martin? Councilman Matthews?
Aye.
Councilman Petrozelli?
Aye.
Councilman Tarantino?
Aye.
Councilman Fisco?
Aye.
Council President Mercer?
Aye.
Is there any new business the mayor and council may have at this time?
Yes, Mayor, I don't know if people want to hear this or not want to hear this, just a question, and this sounds selfish, I apologize, but, is there any interest right now in terms of perhaps canceling one of the July or August meetings? I have an impossible schedule, and I have no weeks off during the summer at all with all my meetings, so I'll be selfish and just ask, is there any, we don't have to do it tonight, but if there's thought, maybe you could put to, perhaps looking at one of those meetings in July or August. I, for one, would greatly appreciate it.
Well, if Congress can take this summer recess.
Well, that's it.
Okay.
I don't care what you do, if you don't cancel it or not, but I'm not gonna be here at the meeting of July 28th. But I'm not saying that you have to cancel the meeting.
Just don't show up.
Well, I could not just show up, yeah. All right, well, maybe we can talk about that for the June meeting.
Okay.
You don't want my opinion on it.
I
As
know.
a
No,
teacher.
No, we're,
I remember your opinion from last year.
Oh, good,
I
I'm
remember
so
now.
happy you remember.
it was only a year ago.
Actually, Mayor, this is your first time to weigh in on this. How do you feel about it?
I think if the workload is low enough, I think we should be able to cancel something. That's my first impression.
All right, just, when we discuss it, if you could just give us your opinion on it,
Yes.
that would be great.
No problem. Okay, we'll continue on. Ms. Ariano, please read the plan of the claims resolution.
Be it resolved that the following claims as approved be and the same are hereby ordered paid when properly signed and verified, and the payment of payrolls as listed is hereby confirmed and ratified.
Roll call, please, Ms. Ariano.
I'll make a motion to adopt the payment of claims.
May I have a second? Second. Roll call, please, Ms. Ariano.
Councilman Moore?
Aye.
Councilman Matthews?
Aye.
Councilman Petrozelli?
Aye.
Councilman Tarantino?
Aye.
Councilman Fisco?
Aye.
And Council President Mercer?
Aye.
Ms. Ariano, please read resolution 15-03, move 203, excuse me.
Closed session resolution authorizing an executive session for the purpose of discussing potential litigation between the Borough of Garwood and Flanagan's Contracting Group relating to the construction of Garwood Sports and Recreation Complex and shared service contracts between the Borough of Garwood and the Township of Cranford and between the Borough of Garwood and the Borough of Garwood, and matters of attorney-client privilege relating to the above in accordance with NJSA 10-4, closed sessions, meetings open to the public, exclusion of public, subject of matter. Whereas it is necessary for the mayor and council of the Borough of Garwood to conduct an executive session closed to the public in order to discuss the above listed matters. Now therefore be it resolved that the council of the Borough of Garwood hereby move to go into executive session in accordance with the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act for the purpose of discussing the subject stated above, and be it further resolved that the matters discussed in and the minutes of the closed session shall be disclosed to the public when the reason for confidentiality no longer exists.
Do I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second. Roll call, please, Ms. Ariano.
Councilman Moore?
Aye.
Councilman Matthews?
Aye.
Councilman Petrozelli?
Aye.
Councilman Tarantino?
Aye.
Councilman Fisco?
Aye.
And Council President Mercer?
Aye.
Thank you. Shall we,
Is that-
reorganize in the back
I
room?
think so.
Yes.